Hi guys, I thought I'd do another Mega Drive games video. It's not going to be one of them top 10 games of all time ones because there's hundreds and thousands of them already on YouTube. So what I thought I'd talk you through is the first 10 Mega Drive games I owned, the order in which I got them, and a little story behind why I chose those games, back in the day. I guess I was kind of late to the Mega Drive party in a way. I think it was the end of 92, early 93 that I got mine. It was actually the Mega Drive 2 that I first owned, still got it here. That was packed in with Sonic 2 and Mega Games 2, which of course is Shinobi, Golden Axe and Streets of Rage. Again, still got those two carts here. Now I'll just show you the particular variant of the Mega Drive 2 that I owned. I haven't seen any other version like this before. So whether or not it was rare or perhaps a catalogue only version, I'm not sure, but here it is, you'll see on the screen. Now what I find strange is, although it clearly states Sonic 2 is in this pack, there's no picture of Sonic himself, which doesn't make sense marketing wise. And on the other hand, you'll see the Mega Games 2 graphic, but no actual title of Mega Games 2. Very strange. Anyway, if you've seen this particular variant before, then please let me know. I still remember the day my Mega Drive arrived. I was playing football down the end of the street with my friends, and I could see in the distance the White Arrow van, if you remember them. It turned up. My mum had ordered me the Mega Drive from a catalogue, and yeah, I ran as fast as I could because I knew what it was in that van. Anyway, here's Sonic 2. I'm not going to bore you with much footage of it. We all know this game. Possibly the best in the series, I don't know. But anyway. And next up we have Golden Axe, the first game I'll show you from that Mega Games 2 package. A game I still enjoy playing today, as I'm sure many of you do too. It holds up great. Now apologies, a lot of the footage I'm going to show you from these games are just going to be the first level, because I haven't really got the time to be progressing through the games. But anyway, Golden Axe, a great game. Still probably one of my favourite Mega Drive games now. That moves us on to Shinobi. In my opinion, the weakest of the three on Mega Games 2. I was never very good at it, and in fact, I think every time I played it, I probably inserted the Unlimited Lives cheat. I don't tend to go back to this game very often these days, and when I do fancy a bit of Shinobi, I tend to play it on my Sega Game Gear these days. Now the third and final game from Mega Games 2 I'll show you here is Streets of Rage. So iconic, the music and the title screen even before you've started playing the game. It's no surprise that there's been so many ports of this over the years, and thank God we're finally blessed with Streets of Rage 4, which has recently been released on the Nintendo Switch. The first in the series for must be a quarter of a century. A must play, as are all the Streets of Rage original games 1, 2 and 3 on the Mega Drive and Genesis. Now the first Mega Drive game I went out and bought was Bart vs. the Space Mutants. It was the first of 4 Simpsons Mega Drive games. After this one came Krusty's Super Fun House, Bart's Nightmare and Virtual Bart. And the reason I got this game, I was a massive Simpsons fan even from Series 1, and as I said, before the Mega Drive I owned a C64, still do, and one of my favourite games for that was the same game, Bart vs. the Space Mutants. I liked it so much, I even had the handheld version, still own it to this day, 30 years later. So let's have a look at Bart vs. the Space Mutants. This is level 1 that I'm showing you here, where you have to rid Springfield of 24 purple items. Oh, I must say the controls are so fiddly on this Mega Drive version. I think I actually prefer although graphically it doesn't hold up to the Mega Drive, but the gameplay, I think I prefer my original Commodore 64 one. At least you could spray stuff properly. But what I will say is I love the cartoon feel of the game, you know, the different characters on the game and the settings from those early seasons of The Simpsons, which, you know, to this day is still the best, I think. Now on to my second purchase for the Mega Drive, and again it was something that was influenced by a love of the C64, and that game was Fantastic Dizzy, known in some regions as the Fantastic Adventures of Dizzy. As I said, I grew up in my early years with Dizzy on the Commodore 64, such as Crystal Kingdom Dizzy and the two multi-game packs here. So I was a big Dizzy fan from the very start, so as soon as I had the 16-bit capabilities, Dizzy was something I really had to check out, and I remember being amazed by the difference in graphics, going from the the black background Commodore to full colour, great sprites on the Mega Drive. Now when you'd spent the first part of your childhood just with a C64, I was blown away with these colours and graphics on this Dizzy game on the Mega Drive. The only thing I don't like about this game is it's such a vast world to explore, and as with all the Dizzy games, adventure games anyway, you involve yourself picking up objects from and then returning to various parts of the world to use them, and for that reason it's such a long process. And this game, there's no save feature or no password feature, so you had to do it in one sitting, which was nigh on impossible, for me anyway. Another thing that made it difficult was not only all the puzzles you had to solve, you're also supposedly meant to collect all 250 stars, which was again no mean feat. But I think I turned a blind eye to that because, you know, Dizzy was my first computer game hero really, and I still love this game no matter how hard I find it. Now, a large part of my Commodore 64 upbringing involved football games, or soccer as you may know it, and so the first football game I chose to buy for the Mega Drive was Ultimate Soccer. Anyway, you'll notice a brief cameo from Sonic there. Plenty of options on the game, I'll give it that. Only international teams. We'll go for a quick friendly with England and North Korea here. As you see, the options there, you can play indoor and outdoor, which is a nice touch back then for an early football game. Pretty feeble graphics, to be honest, and the sound isn't great during the game either, just the referee's whistle and the odd cheer when a goal goes in. You got to remember though, this game is so old it predates any of the FIFA titles that were released for the Mega Drive from 1994 to 1998, which sold by the millions. I mean, this is okay as far as football games go, and certainly not the worst on the system. Now next up is a game I first played at my cousin's house, and when I left I thought, well, I'm really going to have to get this game myself, and that game is the platformer Rolo to the Rescue by Electronic Arts. Now, a funny story about this game, when I left my cousin's house I didn't actually catch the name of the game, and I knew there was already a Mega Drive game called Ottifants, and so I presumed, you know, elephant, Ottifants, that the game that I was looking for must have been Ottifants. So I went around all various towns and shops looking for Ottifants, and I had no luck. Anyway, months later I picked up this Mega Drive Bible type book, and I noticed one of the screenshots for the games was listed as Rolo to the Rescue, and from that moment I realised, oh, I've been looking for the wrong game all this time, and sure enough, it didn't take me long at all after that to find the correct game, and here it is, still got it. It's a really nice game, lots of fun, quite a lot of levels too. As you can see here, you control Rolo, you have to free his little friends, and once you free them friends you can control them. They've got different capabilities, such as the beaver can swim or the rabbit can bounce high to free others. And then, once you've freed everyone you get to the end of the level and move on. Okay, so we're into 1994 now for my next game, and that game is Sylvester and Tweety. I remember this game cost me £45, and back in 1994, that was a lot of money. In fact, I don't think I've spent that much on a game even to this day. I got it from a little independent gaming shop in Newark, Nottinghamshire, the same place where I got all my Commodore 64 games from too. As for the game, I remember being blown away at the time by the cartoon-like graphics. Obviously, each stage, the object of the game is to catch Tweety. You will do so at the end of each level, but of course he'll get away, and then you go again in various different settings. Okay, so next up we have Turtles Tournament Fighters from Konami. Now this was another game that I first played at my cousin's house, but luckily, unlike Rolo to the Rescue, I actually knew the name of this one, so I was able to find it quite easily. And what I must say is, like all the 16-bit Turtle games, whether it be Mega Drive or SNES, it's such a fantastic game. There's a choice of 8 playable characters that you've just seen, and you work your way up the leaderboard fighting against clones of those characters, before reaching the final 3 stages where you fight against a Triceraton, Krang's android and Karai in that order, in order to rescue Splinter from Krang. Now I don't know if it's just me, but I find this game notoriously difficult, but still a very enjoyable one all the same. Okay, so continuing in the same vein for my penultimate entry on this list, we have the great Mortal Kombat 2. Now this game needs very little introduction at all. We've got 12 characters to choose from here this time, as opposed to the 8 of Turtles. But the game works in very much the same way. You work your way up the leaderboard in order to reach the final bosses. I remember being blown away by the realism of the characters in this game, and one of my favourite memories as a child gamer was trying to perfect the fatality moves in the game. It wasn't always easy, but when you pulled it off, real satisfaction. Okay, so last but by certainly no means least on this list, we have the great Theme Park by Bullfrog. This game, it had such a great influence on my future gaming, not only Bullfrog titles, but other versions of Theme Park itself. Here I've got it on the PS1, I've got it on the Sega Saturn, and also the big box PC version too. And that led me on to the other great games by Bullfrog too, obviously Theme Hospital, as you can see behind me, Dungeon Keeper, Populous, so many great games by them. I actually bought this game on holiday in Scotland. For some unknown reason, my dad used to take us to Glasgow on holiday every year. And one particular year, we took a day trip to quite far north to Fort William. And it was in a little shop there that I remember buying the game. I can't remember the name of the shop now, but like Sylvester and Tweety that I mentioned earlier in the list, this was another £45 job. Which again, back as I'd say probably a 10-year-old me, that was a lot of pocket money saved up. I have to say though, money well spent, clearly. So you start off by building a theme park in the United Kingdom, and once you've met the challenges there and gained a good reputation, you have the opportunity to move elsewhere, and each other country that you build your theme park in, you come across different challenges along the way. It's a slow game to get going. You just begin with the choice of 4 rides and 4 places to eat, but after a while, you grow your park, more rides become available through research, more places to eat, and you take it from there, and your park becomes a really enjoyable place to manage and watch. Now, as well as the attractions and places to eat, you've got a whole host of other things to manage, amenities such as toilets, trees, fencing, pathways, and you've got the staff to manage, such as the mechanics who will fix the rides when they break, or the handymen who clear the rubbish from the site, or you've got security guards on the door, you've got the mascots to encourage people to go on rides. They've thought of everything, Bullfrog. There's so much in this game, and so much to keep you entertained for hours and hours. Right, that's all from me this time. I hope you enjoyed this rather random list of Mega Drive games. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.